What if I told you that airlines, for decades, have been masters of a single brilliant magic trick? A trick of language. They've spent billions of dollars on marketing and training to convince you, the traveler, that help is a perk, that assistance is a favor, and that comfort is an upgrade. What if I told you that's a lie? A carefully constructed lie designed to do one thing: protect their profit margins. Because if you're over 60 or traveling with anyone who is, you have access to a set of federally protected rights. Not perks, not favors, rights. We've all come to accept that flying is an ordeal, a test of endurance. You drag your luggage through terminals that feel like small cities. You stand in endless, snaking lines, your back aching. You get nickel and dimed for everything: a checked bag, a few inches of leg room, a bottle of water. The entire system is designed to make you feel small, processed, and grateful for any tiny kindness. But the truth is, many of those kindnesses are not kindness at all. They are the law. The Air Carrier Access Act, or ACAA, is a powerful piece of federal legislation. It's your personal rulebook for air travel, and it contains guarantees that airlines are legally required to provide. But here's the catch, the one they bank on. They don't have to offer them. You have to ask. And you have to ask in a way that shows you know the rules. They are counting on you not knowing. They are hoping you'll be too polite, too intimidated, or too confused by the chaos to claim what is legally yours. Today, we're pulling back the curtain. This isn't just a list. This is the playbook. We're giving you the 10 most powerful, game-changing rights you have at the airport. And we're giving you the exact scripts to use. The magic words that turn a stressed-out gate agent into your personal assistant. Because when you use these phrases, you're not asking for a favor. You're giving them a direct, legal instruction. And they know it. It seems like senior discounts on flights went the way of the dodo, right? You search online and there's no senior button. You use Kayak, you use Google Flights, and all you see are the same high prices for everyone. The truth is, they do still exist. The airlines have just gotten very, very good at hiding them. Why? Because their entire online business model is built on dynamic pricing. Algorithms that show the highest possible price to the most people. A simple fixed-rate senior discount breaks their complex system. So, they've hidden them in the one place most people don't go anymore: the phone. Major carriers like United and Delta still offer senior fares, typically for 65+ on certain routes, but you will not find them online. You must call the airline's reservation line directly. And when you call, you have to use the magic words. If you just ask, "Do you have any discounts?" the agent, who is timed on their calls, will say no and try to book you the online fare. You have to be specific. "Can you please check for a senior fare for a passenger over 65 on this route?" This exact phrasing triggers a different kind of search. It forces them to look in the old-school fare buckets that aren't connected to the website. Here's a quick rundown. Delta Airlines. You must call. They are not bookable online, period. United Airlines. You can sometimes find them online by selecting Seniors 65+ in the Traveler menu, but it's always worth calling to compare. American Airlines. They offer them on select routes. A phone call is your best bet. Now, a crucial word of caution. Always compare. Do your homework first. Go online, find the exact flights you want, and write down the price. Then call. Ask for the senior fare. Sometimes a regular online-only web sale will still be cheaper, but often, especially for last-minute flights or more complex international routes, that hidden senior fare can save you anywhere from $50 to $200 per ticket. They're not going to volunteer this information. you have to ask for it by name. For many people, the security screening is the single most stressful part of flying. The lines, the yelling, the confusing instructions. Laptops out! Shoes off! Wait, not your shoes? It's pure chaos. But there's a little-known, 100% free service that can arrange for a personal guide to meet you and walk you through the entire process. It's called TSA Cares. This is not an airline program. This is run by the TSA itself. This helpline connects travelers with disabilities, medical conditions, or even just high anxiety about the screening process to a passenger support specialist, or PSS. This is a dedicated TSA officer with specialized training. They will meet you before the security checkpoint. They will stay with you from start to finish. They will calmly guide you through the process, explain each step before it happens, help you handle your medical devices properly, like an insulin pump or CPAP, and give you all the time and personal attention you need. This service is a lifesaver. It's for anyone with mobility aids, medical devices, cognitive concerns, or even just severe anxiety. They are your personal advocate inside the security chaos. They can open a new lane for you. They can request a private screening for you. To use this, you need to give them at least 72 hours notice. You simply call the TSA Cares helpline at 855-787-2227. Give them your flight details and briefly explain the kind of assistance you need. I'm traveling with a pacemaker and am not comfortable with the body scanner. Or, I use a walker and need assistance. Or, I get very anxious in crowds and need a calm explanation of the process. There are no forms, no doctor's notes. One phone call, 3 days before your trip, can turn the part of the journey you dread most into a calm, supported, and dignified process. Airlines have mastered the art of unbundling. The ticket just gets you on the plane. Want a seat? That's extra. Want an aisle seat? That's more extra. Want a seat with more legroom? That's a premium upgrade. But many of those exact same premium seats are available for free if you know how to ask for them as a disability accommodation. Under federal law, seats that meet certain accessibility needs are not considered upgrades that you have to pay for. This is where the magic trick of language comes in. Don't say, "I want an aisle seat." Say, "I require an aisle seat due to a medical condition that requires frequent access to the restroom." Don't say, "I'd like more legroom." Say, "Due to a fused knee/severe arthritis, my leg cannot bend. I require a bulkhead seat or a seat with equivalent legroom as a disability accommodation." This frames your request as a medical necessity, not a preference. Here's another one. Are you traveling with a family member or a care attendant who helps you? The airline is required to seat them next to you, at no extra charge. When you book, call them to do this. You state, "I'm traveling with a personal care attendant who assists me with my medical needs. We must be seated together as a required accommodation." This will bypass the seat selection fees for both of you. Here's the insider tip. Airlines hold back a ton of these desirable seats for airport control. The online seat map is a lie. It's designed to make you think you have to pay. But the gate agent has the real map. Arrive at the gate early, before the chaos. Speak to the agent politely. Use the "I require" language. One correctly phrased request could save you $75 in fees and get you the comfort you truly need to travel safely. You've seen it. You're power walking to gate B47, your connection is boarding in 20 minutes, and the monitor says it's a 15-minute walk. You're juggling your carry-on, your coat, and that growing panic in your chest. Then, you see them. Another passenger, gliding calmly through the chaos, being personally guided by a smiling airline employee who is pulling their bag. Your first thought is, wow, that must be expensive. That's a first-class only perk. Think again. That service is called guided assistance, or meet and assist, and it is 100% free. It's a right guaranteed by federal law for any traveler who requests it due to a mobility, cognitive, or even sensory impairment. And let's be clear, I get overwhelmed by the crowds, or I'm not steady on my feet, or I'm worried I'll get lost, are all valid reasons. Here's the insider secret. Airlines hate this. Why? Because this service is often handled by a third-party contractor, and the airline gets billed for every single passenger who uses it. It's a direct hit to their bottom line. That's why you will never see this advertised on their homepage. But here's what the law says they must provide. A continuous, personal escort from the moment you check in all the way to your seat on the plane. And it doesn't stop there. When you land, that same assistance is there to meet you at the aircraft door, walk you from your gate, through the terminal, to baggage claim, and all the way to the curb to meet your ride. This is your personal airport concierge. They will help you at the check-in kiosks. They'll guide you through a different security line, one you probably didn't even know existed. They will handle any sudden gate changes. They will communicate with the gate agents for you. Imagine flying to see your grandkids. Instead of a stressful, frantic dash, you are calmly escorted, moving at your own pace with a friendly guide who knows all the shortcuts. And here's the bonus tip: the gate pass. Want your family to meet you at the gate, just like in the old days? A request for guided assistance is your key. When your family member arrives with you at check-in, they show their own photo ID and your boarding pass and say this: I am providing necessary assistance to this passenger, and I request an escort pass to the gate. This allows them to go through security with you and wait at your departure gate. It turns a lonely journey into a supported family experience. But you must use the right words. When you book your ticket, look for the Special Assistance link, and again when you check in, you need to say, I need guided assistance due to a mobility impairment. Don't say, can someone help me? Or, is there any assistance? That's a question. I need guided assistance is a statement. It triggers a code in their system. It creates a paper trail. They are now legally obligated to serve you. Airlines make billions of dollars from baggage fees. It's one of the most profitable parts of their business. A round trip for 2 people can easily cost you an extra $240 just for the privilege of bringing your own clothes. But what they aren't broadcasting is that an entire category of luggage flies for free. Always, no matter what. Under the Air Carrier Access Act, all assistive devices and medical equipment are 100% exempt from baggage fees, and they do not count toward your standard baggage allowance. Let me repeat that. You can bring your regular suitcase and your medical bag for free. And the definition of medical equipment is wonderfully broad. We're talking about CPAP machines, nebulizers, portable oxygen concentrators, but also bags used to keep medication cool, walkers, canes, crutches, diabetic supplies, blood pressure monitors, and even the extra batteries for these devices. The savings add up immediately. That's $60 to $120 right back in your pocket, every single trip. Now, for any battery-powered devices, it's a good idea to call the airline 48 hours before your flight. This isn't to ask permission, it's to notify them and confirm their specific procedures for handling the batteries, which fall under FAA safety rules. Here is the key. At the check-in counter, when the agent asks about your bags, do not ask a question. Make a statement. I am checking/carrying on medical equipment that is exempt from baggage fees. If you're carrying it on, it's best to have it in a separate, dedicated bag. Don't mix your CPAP machine with your beach novels. If an agent questions it, they are only allowed to visually inspect it. They cannot make you turn it on or demand to see a prescription. If they ask what it is, you simply say, it's a medically prescribed assistive device. You are not required to disclose your private medical condition. This isn't a loophole. It's a legitimate federal right designed to make travel accessible. Use it. There's a persistent myth that the moment you turn 75, you get full TSA PreCheck benefits for free. That's not quite true, but what you do get is still very helpful, and you need to know about it. Travelers who are 75 and older automatically receive what's called modified screening. This means you can keep your shoes on and a light jacket on as you go through security. It's a nice perk. It's not full PreCheck, which also lets you keep laptops and liquids in your bag, but it's something. Here's how it works. The TSA officer will see your age on your photo ID and should automatically apply these accommodations. You don't need to enroll or pay any fees. If they're rushing you, you can politely say, "I am 75. I believe I can keep my light jacket and shoes on." Now, if you have a medical device like a pacemaker, an insulin pump, or a joint replacement, you should always inform the TSA officer before you go through the scanner. You can get a TSA notification card from your doctor to discreetly hand to them. If you do set off a metal detector, which is common with joint replacements, you will require a pat-down. Here is your right. You do not have to stand for this. You can say, "I would be more stable if I could be seated for the pat-down." They must provide you with a chair. Knowing these small modifications can make the process faster and far less physically demanding. The gate area. It's a social experiment gone wrong. The moment the agent touches the microphone, people spring up, crowding the lane. They call global services, then first class, then group 1, group 2, group 14. It feels like a stampede. You're worried about finding overhead bin space. You feel the pressure of the 50 people in line behind you, sighing as you try to get your jacket off. What if you could walk onto that plane before any of them? Here's another secret the airlines don't advertise. The Air Carrier Access Act guarantees pre-boarding to any passenger with a disability who simply self-identifies at the gate as needing a little extra time. And let's be crystal clear on the definition of disability here. The DOT's own rules state it is someone who has a physical or mental impairment that substantially limits one or more major life activities. Guess what walking and standing are? Major life activities. If you have age-related mobility concerns, balance issues, a sore hip, or just need to move slower without being pushed, you qualify. The law is specific. Airlines must offer this accommodation before all other boarding groups, before first class, before the diamond status flyers, before the military. You and your traveling companion get to walk onto a completely clear, empty, and quiet plane. No pressure, no stampede. You can find your seat, get your carry-on into the overhead bin while there's still plenty of space, and settle in. This one thing can eliminate 80% of travel anxiety. Here is the exact phrase that works every single time. 30 minutes before boarding, walk up to the gate agent, the one not speaking, and say, calmly and politely, "I'd like to request pre-boarding, as I need some additional time to get to my seat and get settled." That's it. You don't need to explain your life story. You don't need a doctor's note. You are not asking for a favor. You are making a direct, polite request for a federally protected right. Here's the insider detail. Gate agents are trained to honor this, but they are also trained to board the plane as fast as humanly possible. They call it turn time. You requesting pre-boarding is a slight disruption to their perfect flow. If they hesitate at all, just add, "Is this an accommodation you can honor under the ACAA?" You will be amazed at how quickly that hesitation vanishes. The flight is canceled. Those two words on the board unleash pure chaos. A sea of frustrated passengers mobs the customer service desk, everyone yelling. It's a nightmare. But here's a critical piece of information. If you have already identified yourself as needing assistance, you get to skip the line. When irregular operations, that's the industry's term for delays and cancellations, hit, Federal law requires airlines to prioritize passengers with disabilities and medical needs. This applies to rebooking, accommodations, and all other assistance. Here's what that means. When you checked in and requested guided assistance or pre-boarding, a little ACAA flag was added to your reservation in their system. When the flight cancels, an automated system starts rebooking the first-class passengers. But it flags all special assistance passengers for manual rebooking by a human agent. This is good news. You are first in the queue to be helped by a person. While everyone else is in that massive line, you can approach an agent or go to the airline's lounge, and you will be handled with priority. You get first choice of the available alternative flights. And the assistance goes beyond just a new flight. For an overnight delay caused by the airline, not weather, they are obligated to provide you with a hotel room, transportation, and meal vouchers. For someone who gets fatigued or who must take medication on a schedule, this is an absolute necessity. If you find yourself in this situation, approach the service desk calmly. Find an agent and say, "I'm a passenger with pre-registered medical/mobility needs. This extended delay is creating a significant hardship. I need priority rebooking and information on my hotel and meal accommodations." This language, politely but firmly, reminds them of their heightened responsibility to you. What looks like VIP treatment is, once again, the law.
This is one of the most dreaded travel scenarios. You've boarded, you're in your seat, the doors are closed, and the plane just sits. An hour goes by. Then 2. The air gets stuffy. You are a prisoner in a metal tube. You have rights here. Very specific, time-based rights. The Department of Transportation has strict rules about tarmac delays. For domestic flights, the airline cannot keep you on the plane on the tarmac for more than 3 hours without allowing you to deplane. For international flights, that limit is 4 hours. More importantly, after the plane has been delayed on the tarmac for 2 hours, the airline is legally required to provide you with food and water. They must also ensure that the lavatories on the plane are working and accessible. For a senior traveler, or anyone with a medical condition, this is critical. Being stuck without water or a working bathroom is more than an inconvenience. It can be a health risk. You don't need to be aggressive, but if you're approaching that 2-hour mark, you have every right to politely ask a flight attendant, "Flight attendant, we've been on the tarmac for 2 hours. Per DOT regulations, can you please let us know when water and snacks will be provided?" If you have a medical need, like you're diabetic and need to eat, or you must take medication with food, do not wait 2 hours. Press the call button. "Flight attendant, I have a medical condition and I need a glass of water and a snack to take my medication now." They will accommodate this. Knowing these rules turns a helpless situation into one where you have power. So, what happens when it all goes wrong? What happens when you use the right words and the airline employee still says no? You have 2 nuclear options. First, at the airport, you ask for a CRO. That stands for Complaint Resolution Official. Every airline is required by law to have one available, either in person or by phone, at every single airport they serve. A CRO is a supervisor who has been specially trained in the Air Carrier Access Act. If a gate agent denies your request for pre-boarding or a seat accommodation, you say this, calmly and firmly. "You are denying me a reasonable accommodation under the Air Carrier Access Act. I demand to speak to a complaint resolution official immediately." Watch what happens. Those 4 letters, CRO, are a panic button. In 99% of cases, the agent will suddenly find a way to make it work without having to call their boss. This is your ultimate trump card at the airport. Second, after the flight, you file an official DOT complaint. Do not just tweet at the airline. Don't fill out their Contact Us form. That goes to marketing. You need to Google DOT Air Travel Complaint. It's a simple web form. This complaint goes directly to the Department of Transportation and is logged on the airline's permanent record. The airline is legally required to respond to you, in writing, within 60 days. In your complaint, use the magic words, "On date, on flight, the airline failed to provide a reasonable accommodation under the Air Carrier Access Act. I requested service and was denied. This caused me harm, distress, financial loss." This guarantees that your complaint is read by a specialized team, not a regular service agent, and it's the only way the airlines are held accountable. So there you have it. 10 powerful, federally protected rights that transform you from just another passenger into an informed traveler. This isn't about finding loopholes. This is about leveling the playing field. This is about traveling with confidence, with dignity, and with the knowledge that the law is on your side. The airlines have built a multi-billion-dollar business on the hope that you'll never read the rulebook. But now, you're the one holding it. Save this information. Share it with a friend, a parent, or any family member who needs to hear it. Your next flight can be different, because they're not doing you a favor. They're following the law.